your crew. What's up, K-Town? This is your man Jon B. We out here on Friday, 21st of March. I'm waiting on you. Make some noise for the legendary, the one and only Jon B.
This guy right here, I can't tell you how much I love this man. I love his music. I love hanging around him. Just good people, him and his wife. You know, I heard he was out here tonight. You know I gotta show up, man. I love you, bro. Oh my God, brother. Thank you so much.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Yeah, nice to see you.
Uh,
Yes. How's it been going for you?
it's been a big week for me. It's been wonderful, actually. The album came out last Friday, so we were just excited to talk about it on all the radio stations we've been on, and all my family at radio, the different radio stations. So getting to connect with all those people as well as my fans, and yeah, just been an exciting official week.
I've seen you on social going to a lot of stations, and
Yeah.
how do you feel about the album? Because I've been listening to it all weekend, and I must say I'm really impressed by what you came out with. But I wanted to find out what you thought about the album.
Well, it's taken me 10 years to put this one out, so it's very, very much an album of gradual, finding vibes in very gradual ways, sort of spread out throughout the 10-year period that I took to make this album. So it's got lots of different sort of elements about it. I will say this is a special album because it's a lot of maturity in this album. I showed a lot of growth vocally, I feel, and I think that the songwriting is really true to life. So it's every song I can definitely get behind every song as being like something I can concur with right now in my life, as far as like sort of the soundtrack to my life, if you will. I mean, Waiting on You, the title track, is really based off the idea of just waiting to get the time to do what you love, Getting- which is this album. This album is the sum of all those moments that are far and few between, and making sense of each one of those little moments. There was 11 songs on this album, so it's very precise for me. Wasn't like I wanted to overload everyone with a tremendous amount of music. I've done that in the past with other albums. We did that on B-sides. We sort of did like mixtape style type of record with 2 records, but I felt like there's no need to do that. And what that did for me was really kind of force me to feel confident about these 11.
Yeah.
These are very, I meant, it's very precise at every single one of these records
Oh,
for
okay.
me.
We need to go through because I try to normally when I interview an artist who's just released an album, I'll listen to the album and I'll pick my 5 favorites. Um,
Okay.
it was tough. I had
Oh
5,
wow.
but there were 4 that
Oh,
I had to almost put in my nearly top 5. So out of your 11, I had 9 that I had to put in my top 5. But
oh, that is very, very sweet. That's cool,
I've
man.
got my 5 favorite, and then the other 4 that it's like, oh, I wish they could get it. But can we start off with the first track, Chosen? That made my top 5.
Okay.
What was, I mean, that's a beautiful vibe, but what was it about that? What was the story behind Chosen?
Well, I really wanted to give my lady a record that she could feel proud of playing if she hears it playing in the club or a bar or whatever have you in a show. I really want her to have her flowers right now in terms of she's the executor of our company. She's the executive queen in
Yes.
command. So it's more like catering to her in that sense with the song chosen. She's when she goes out, she doesn't do any choosing. You know what I mean? She's chosen. She doesn't have to want for a thing. So you know what I mean? It's about life being sort of catered to her in that sense of it's kind of like a playful record. It really is, but it's also very sexy in the sense of the
Mm.
track and the track. I try to be visual with my music, in terms of set it up so that it's the track is vibrant enough that if I do tell you a story, that the story is accentuated by the track. It's almost a rap on that song. It's not
Mm.
very. There is a melodic. Definitely, I love the melodies on that song, but that also is very kind of like one of those story tracks where it's like, all right, let's get back into our vibe again. Let's go do something nice. And how about it's just all on me? You ain't got to worry about nothing, and
Mm.
just be the blessed woman you are, and you chosen. So
Yeah, it was
there it
number
is.
it's number two on my top five. Really
Okay,
beautiful way to start off the
thank you,
album.
thank you so
Um,
much.
and as I said, I really
I
love the
feel like
album.
that. I feel like that song, that track I did is when I started that track off, it was very much reminiscent of like a finer things in terms of like the approach, um, sound selection. A lot of the different sort of elements in that song remind me of sort of a 2025, if you will, much more modernized version of finer things.
Yeah, yeah. But okay, because I don't want to keep going on how much I love the album, but it is really Hills to the Hood.
Yes,
Um,
yeah, featuring Rick Ross. Yeah,
I
yeah,
I listened to it. I thought this is, I'm no heritage. I'm Nigerian. Is there Afrobeat influence in it?
yes, definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
I felt that. Yeah.
As well as Jamaican. What I'm saying, like, influence with the dancehall and all that. So like, I mean, it's really it's club energy is what it is. It's Miami. It's a little reggaeton. There's a little bit of everything in that song. A little bit of EDM.
Mm.
Um, The Weeknd has always been sort of like someone who's been a bit of a muse for me. As far
Oh.
um, as an artist, he's always really inspired me. The moves that he's made. Um, and it was kind of cool because he sampled me on his newest album, which is on a song called Niagara Falls. He samples me, and it's cool. He samples "Someone to Love." So big up The Weeknd, yeah, man, for rocking with me like he does. And but yeah, certain moves that are just international that just kind of
Mm.
go around the world and just kind of feel good. That's what I wanted to do with Hills to the Hood. I played live drums on there, but at the same time, there's some programming in there, so it's got a very kind of, I want to say, almost like an 80s feel too, in a sense. I did some things on that with the sound selection that kind of, I don't know, it just reminds me of Duran Duran a little bit, like that with the
Okay.
way they think. As far as like there's like these little vocal, like cherub kind of like vocals in the background that are very high, like reminds me of something that they would have done or some, the way the way I kind of was brought up off their music.
Yeah, yeah.
With some of the stuff I paid attention to in the background. Like when I came up with the sound, I said, "Oh, that's odd right there. Let me put that in there too." So it's got a bunch of stuff in there that's really cool. That one, and then Rick Ross with his, I mean, lavish wordplay. He's so luxury. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
He's so
yeah.
luxury. So it just takes the song to that level. And visually, I mean, he really set it off for me. I went to his house in Atlanta. I was blessed enough to be invited to go to his house by him, and what a house for
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
for
say.
starters. Just to roll up on the driveway alone is pretty amazing. Yeah, very very cool. And so yeah, to be welcomed into the man's house was an honor, to shake his hand, to talk about the project presumed that we would do. Um, and he was a great, he just received everything I was talking about. He concurred. He thought it was a dope idea. He thought it would be a dope collaboration. He too has, a mutual respect for my music. So
Yeah, yeah.
it was a no-brainer. And I walked out of there not knowing, when I'd get the record. I just knew I would, because I felt a good vibration from him.
Yeah.
And he recorded that record, man, within 2 weeks, sent that John to me, and I was like, man, this is it.
Did he put the Maybach
He even
music on
put the
it?
Maybach music stamp on there, bro. I was like, what? So yeah, that kind of like is really cool. Yeah, for sure.
I think
Definitely excited about it.
I think for that track, because I said it touches, I heard the Afrobeat stuff, and I'm sure people who from the
Yeah,
Caribbeans will hear the dancehall stuff. But I think
yeah,
I just hope you do a visual for this, a big party, everyone's dancing, you
yeah.
get it multicultural stuff, because this is that
Come on,
summer essence song that
let's
who was it
go.
that
Let's go.
Kid came out
We
with.
haven't actually we haven't had the chance to collaborate with Ross yet, and that would be the only reason why, if we didn't do a visual for it, I would, because I got to do it with Ross. I got to have Ross in the video.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that tends to be a little bit something more that, we have to work out. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to promise anything, but I know that right now we've already started on my part of the visual, in terms of, we were in Vegas, and I'm not going to give away too
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
but
yeah. It's
just,
fine. It's
it's
fine.
already what you're describing is kind of cool, because we're seeing the same vision.
Yeah, no, this is it.
You know?
I thought this was like, well, this is that international one that it will just transcend across. Even though it was not my number one track, it's number three, but it
Yeah.
was like, wow, this is the big record. Um, okay, Still Got Love, um, featuring Alex
Still got
Eisley.
love.
Oh, man,
Oh no, Still got love is
sorry, no, sorry,
well,
sorry, no, no,
you talking about Show Me. You talking
yeah,
about
no,
Show
so that
Me.
was Show Me. Sorry, I don't know where I put it. No, Still Got Love. Yeah. So what was
Yeah.
what the story behind that one? I don't know why. Yeah. What's Still Got
Oh,
Love?
Still got love. Yeah, Still got love is I started that record on the drum set, really playing real drums and recording real drums. I'm a drummer, and as well as a keyboard
Yeah,
player,
people know you for the
and
keyboards mostly. Yeah.
yeah, but I've always played live drums on my records, like, not too many of them, but I mean, for instance, like the Jack Herrera project, I really prided myself on playing a lot of live drums on that project. My first album I played live drums on. Anyway, getting to the point of the song, which you asked about, is
Yeah.
it was beautiful to bring out the live drums and
Mm.
get a sound, going. But speaking of bringing in, you know, old school elements like drum,
Mm.
like live drums, percussion, drum machine, old sounds, like rhythm boxes and stuff like that. What I was inspired by was like records like Frankie and Beverly Mays would make,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
a song like Ascension by like Maxwell, or
Mm.
my song Don't Talk, even like the
Yeah,
energy behind that. I
yeah.
really wanted to create something that was modern,
Mm.
for me, in terms of like the way that I'm going about creating it, but at the same time, kind of a throwback to my Nile Rodgers, Chic, all of that good stuff, delegation, delegation. I mean, like all that stuff from the late '70s, early '80s is like my favorite two-step music. It's just like it's that roller skating rink kind of
Mm.
vibe. It's got that whole just outside, celebratory kind of sunshine energy, behind it. So yeah, I wanted to create something like that. I had the opportunity to rock with my man DJ Quick again.
Oh,
Just pulling up on him, he said, "Man, come through the house and let's hear the record." And I brought my record with me, and he put some sauce on there. He made it happen for me as far as just the sonics, because he's such a
mm.
sonic genius.
Mm.
He heard right away uh some things we could do to just enhance the song, and so we got to clapping and got to, mixing
Yeah, yeah,
snare
yeah, yeah.
drums and just, all kinds of musical sort of the technical parts of the music, but just really having fun. And I love watching him work because he's such a genius. So much of his music that he's created inspired me to make the music that I, made. I don't think I would have ever made a song like "Don't Talk" if it wasn't for DJ Quick. So kind of
Yeah.
giving him his flowers and coming full circle. But at the same time, feeling so good about him digging what I'm doing right now that it just is a great way to approach doing a song like this. Like a two-step kind of, 80s s kind of.
Yeah.
It's got a little 90s R&B in there too, of course, but I really wanted vocally on that song to kind of come off on a Luther Vandross vibe. So I would have loved I would have loved Luther to sing this record at
Okay.
heart, if he was still around.
Yeah.
That would have I'm sending that one out up to my man.
Wow, that would be interesting. But I think that he's very effortless in anything he does. But no, I think
Oh
it's a good
yeah.
vibe. But I think one of the things that we don't recognize is how good DJ Quick is as an R&B producer. And I think we get caught up in his hip hop stuff. But when I spoke with L, he talked about how Quick, really rescued him and gave him a new voice and a new sound. So I can just imagine vocally how he was able to find something that he could really bring out on that track.
Yeah, well, you know what it was I had the song basically done before I even worked with him. But then he heard the music and it was actually him and MC Problem. And they've been working together on an album as well. So Problem kind of got behind the computer and started to mess around with just this sort of like really simplifying kind of everything that there was there because I tend to like really really just
Ah.
put everything in there, as far as just the strings, the horns, the keyboards, the piano, the guitar, the everything, so lots of choices. And so when you kind of go through it and you kind of solo certain things and you kind of only have like maybe 4 or 5 things playing, you may just have done that just on accident just to kind of get those 4 or 5 things right? Get them real precise and how you want them. But in the same token, I'm sitting there in the room going, that sounds good like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, like keep it like that, bro. Like actually, it kind of sound good without the snare drum. Save the snare for the hook. And so yeah, just little fun stuff like that was what went down between us, and we kind of just put a new mix on the song so that it really, really had that thing. And DJ Quick, one thing he's really known for is he makes songs for the radio, like he makes songs for the club, like he makes songs to be heard
Mm.
worldwide. Like he's not playing, so he has that very radio um polished sound, and that's what I can say what the hook does for me. It just says Quick all over it because it's very pristine, it's very bright, it slaps.
But
So
then,
yeah.
as a creator, how hard is that to say, "Well, I've already done this. I think I've done it right," and they're like, "Now let's play around with it." How that takes a lot of no ego, and it's like,
Yeah, trust and
mm,
respect is what it is. I'd love to see your take on this because it's like going to Quincy to get, strings
yeah,
arranged, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
get his take on did I arrange this right? It's what he does is mix records, and you know, um not just make the beat and rap on it, but actually engineer and mix the song. So his sonics, like I said, like
okay.
yeah, is what it really made the extra, it came in the end, it made the difference.
No, okay, it makes sense. Okay, number four, Priceless. Now you did it. It came out about 5 years ago, 5.5 years
Yeah,
ago. So
yeah.
what did you
Well,
always think you were going to release it as a package, or what was the?
yeah. So Priceless was meant, and as well as Understand on the album featuring
We'll
Donell
get to
Jones.
understand. Yeah, we'll get there. It's at the end. It's number 10.
Excuse me. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So it's really cool because both of those songs sort of took a pause because of obviously the pandemic and everything,
Okay,
and
okay.
everything shut down for 2 years. And we got really back into grind mode with the road, and being on the road and
Yeah,
really
yeah,
doing
yeah.
as many shows as possible. Really,
I
and
don't know
so
how you
that's
managed.
what really was. Yeah,
Last
it
year
was
you were
wild.
just you. Yeah, I don't know how you managed.
It was a wild time, but you know, one thing's for sure is like the fans are unwavering. You know, they've been, you guys have been there for me every step of the way. You know, whether it was you know, during the COVID time, you know, with the all the shutdown, everything, you would
Mm.
have little private things that would come up. They'd say, "Hey, could you do a, you know, a proposal, a wedding proposal? You know,
Wow.
I'm proposing to my wife. Could you come through the backyard and just sing I do what you say, boo. You know, propose to her." And I said, "Of course," you know. And special moments like that, that people, you know, now I see those, that married couple that have been married now some years now, sitting front row at my show at the Greek Theater, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's right, you know. And we remember that time, you know what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful experience in the end. I mean, Understand featuring Donell Jones was something that also we put out right before COVID and everything. And we had videos for these songs. I mean, we were really in full out, we were about to be in album release mode, but
Okay.
that really shut everything down. So that's the story behind those records. And, you know, I feel like the fans just wouldn't let those songs go. They're like, "Are you
Mm.
putting Understand on the album? Are you putting Priceless on the album?" And I was
Okay.
like, "Okay,
Okay.
yes, I absolutely will." So yeah, we had to.
Okay. Okay. All right. We can finally get to Show Me with Alex Eisley. And
Yeah,
her voice is just unbelievable. But
it is. It is.
the way you guys blend together in this song, um, it didn't feel manufactured. It just felt, wow,
Thank you.
this is so beautiful. In fact, let me see. It made my top five.
Oh,
How did
thank you. Yeah,
how did you decide on getting Alex to duet with you and even the thought of the song?
Alex was she was just an absolute blessing that just fell upon my doorstep one night. My man D Dot um, brought her over, and we've always had close proximity to one another. Being the Isley brothers are good friends
Mm,
of mine, and we've done shows together in the past. So I've always heard about her, and I actually did some research right before um, we hooked up in the studio when she came over to my house, and I was already incredibly impressed. Her
mm,
sound is such a, I love her tonality. I
mm.
love her subtle energy that she gives. It's very jazzy, it's very grown up, and it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
ahead of her time, you know. But she's got a softness that's just so beautiful. And yeah, it really complements the song. She was so complimentary towards me in the song, you know, in terms of like, I played it for her with a sense of like openness. I told her, it's like, don't be locked into the verses. If you know, if you hear something different, I would love to hear what you hear. But this is just my idea that I was, you know, I wrote the song, you know, originally, just I just wrote it. I wasn't necessarily thinking let's make it a duet. But I think it's in your range. I said, you know, I think this is a perfect little range for you. Uh, and she said, "I don't want to change anything. I love it. And I want to sing it just like that." So I was, you know, as a songwriter, that's like the greatest compliment you can get,
Wow.
um, especially from someone who's already writing such great songs and
Mm.
has a vibe and has a whole thing. So it's a trust factor that really, that's like the greatest encouragement for me as a songwriter. I want to know I still got it, you know, by my people who are, you know, that are really doing things right now and making moves. And she's everywhere. So yeah, I
Yeah.
was so blessed to have her on the song. And we just kind of we weave back and forth, we interweave, intertwine, you know, and just kind of it's a beautiful. The thing I love about it. It would be sort of weird if it was like a sexual song,
Mm.
but it's not necessarily sexual. It's very sensual. It's
Yeah.
almost like a record that you would put on if you were like, if you wanted to, like my idea for the video would be like meditation on the beach or something like that. As a couple goes out to the beach, they walk along the beach and they meditate. You know, they take in the sunlight, the breeze, the sounds, the feel of the sand. You know what I mean? And those elements of being able to let go of the city, let go of the hoopla, let go of the pressure, and a sense of release with that one. You know, that's what that one was. You know, show me
It,
how to let go.
Yeah, I would say that I love the song. It's in my top five. It's almost as if I didn't even need the video because there's some songs that a video would
Thank
be
you.
great. Like I said, Hills
Yeah.
to the Hood, but with Show Me,
Yeah.
I just felt like actually listening to it was just I'm fine with listening to it. But if you come up with a visual, that's great. But
Okay.
that's how good it.
Sure.
Sometimes you
Sure.
just listen to a song and just like, well, this is
We
just yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what no, it's just a beautiful thing because I'm glad you feel that way. That's one of the songs actually don't have a visual for, but I'd love to. And when I see Alex, I'm always like, man, that might we might need to make a visual for that, you know. And she's always such a sweetheart. I mean, that's my little sister right there. You know, it's
Yeah,
my wife and I. We love her. We love her energy,
yeah.
and we would love to collaborate on a video. But I think that also what the wonderful thing is about this album is we've done 7 videos already for this album, along with all of the songs. So there's so many visuals.
Yeah. As I said, with
By
Show
far
Me,
the most visual album we've ever done.
yeah.
So as far as Show Me being a video though,
No, I
I
didn't
don't know
think
yet.
it needed. I didn't think it needed one. That's why I was saying that I didn't think it needed it because I felt the
Yeah,
song itself sold itself. But you could always, next time she's in the studio, you just
it wouldn't
film
hurt. It
yourself.
wouldn't hurt. I would love to see it.
Yes.
She's a beautiful girl. She would only make it that much more sweeter of a, when you get to take it one layer deeper as far as just the video, the visual side of things, getting to do so on so many records this time, it's really felt it's made the songs mean more for me. I mean, they
Okay.
they start off as songs. We just put out a new record called "Pick Me Up," which is on the album as well, and a video for that as well.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so it's
we're
just
going
wonderful
down.
to
Yeah,
have all these visuals.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, as I said, yeah, I think when I listened to it, I didn't think visual. I just felt beautiful song, the kind of song you want to listen
Yeah,
to
thank you.
over and over again.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
Waiting on You, which is the album title featuring Tank.
Mhm.
It's a song that actually grew on me. And the more you
Okay.
listen to it, it grows on you more and more. Um, it didn't make it, it made my top nine, which I've got 4 songs that I couldn't get in, but it was a song that actually it does grow on you as you keep listening to it, and you just feel as if you know the song. How
Mm.
getting tanked and shifting you and trying to get the right type of balance in the duets. I mean, how does that work when you have somebody with different range than yourself? And
Oh no, it's I don't know if it's about range at all. I think it's if anything, we have so much in common that it's very, very easy to make happen. We've collaborated in the past. The
Mm,
song Lately was written by Tank, and he sang on
okay.
that song. Back in 2004, he sang on also a song called Everyday. I don't know, it's called Stronger Every Day.
Mm,
And yeah, we've collaborated in the past. So he's always been very supportive. He had me on his R&B Money podcast, and I was able to play him that song. That song was originally just recorded. I wrote that song. My man Brady Watt did the track and sent me the track, and I wrote the song in one day. And
wow.
when I played it for Tank, I said, man, this is very much like melodically. I want to say you were in my head, in terms of the way I was trying to think, just do things that I don't normally do, and really kind of almost hunt for that melody that's unorthodox, if you will. It's kind of you're challenging yourself to think outside the box of what your normal sort of regimen is. And so I wanted to give him his flowers with that before I played it for him. And when I played it for him, he had this look on his face like it made sense to him. And he said, "Man, I got to sing on this. I got to be on this record." And I was
Oh,
like, and he told me it reminded him of They Don't Know, like the energy that I was given.
okay.
So that's a huge, huge compliment coming from him. And at first I thought it might just be a compliment. I didn't know what to expect. But he pulled up on me in the studio, man. He came here to the house, and he said, "I don't want to change anything about the record. I just want to add a bridge." And he added that bridge, and that bridge is like the bridge of life. It's just like it
Wow.
takes you to another level, man, with the harmonies on there that he did I mean, it's just it's very special, and it's a special moment on the song, as well as all his ad libs. And then he started to recommend like certain sounds, string sounds. bass sound. He started to play the upright piano in my hallway to the song, and I was like, that right there is got to be on the record. That is so dope. And he's a brilliant pianist as well. So it's
Mm.
just getting to go to his house, revisit the song after we finished it at mine, and he played the piano parts that you hear at the end. The beautiful piano
Mm.
outro is just it's classic. It's an absolute classic record. That's my
Yeah.
favorite song on the album.
What? Okay.
Um, which is yeah. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that's R&B, at its finest for me in
Okay.
this day and age, as far as guys from my era repping together.
Yeah.
I wrote that record. Didn't nobody come in here and pen it for me. That was
Yeah.
written by yours truly. So it gets no more realer than that as far as a Jon B record. I mean, I'm looking at life like everything that means the most to me, I have to wait on sometimes, and in
Mm.
life, that's kind of like how important things happen, is you got to wait on them, man. Sometimes this album was something that I had to wait on, had to wait for 10 years,
Yeah.
but when it comes, even though it seems like it's late, it's always on time. It just happens. Life happens like that, and it's on time, man, when it comes. But so, you know, I guess I'm gonna be waiting on you for the rest of my life now. That moment, waiting on that moment.
Yeah.
And being ready for it when it comes. That's the main thing. Be
Yeah. No,
ready.
it's
If
a
you get if you get ready, you don't. If you are ready, you don't have to get ready. You stay ready. You don't have to get ready. So
no, you're right. And it's definitely a beautiful it's one of those songs that you hear it and it's like, I know this song, and you can just vibe with it. It's so
thank
it
you.
is
Yeah. Well, it's there's a longing in this record that I don't usually pour out in my songs, and I feel like the longing really comes from, like, I guess, being like all the extremes that I see in my life, from being on stage and having all the adulation and all the amazing, love that I feel in my heart, encouragement, all the things that I feel in my heart when I feel my audience, which is, it could be anywhere from a 500 to 5,000 seater crowd,
Mm.
maybe even bigger sometimes. And then I got to go back to my room of silence and, my headphones and so there's a lot of self-reflection time to be in the airport and watch the sun come up and wait for my
Mm.
to get on my flight. There's all these thoughts that are in my head, and I'm waiting to get back to my family, my 11-year-old little girl, and my 17-year-old not so little girl, and my wife of 18 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those things are really important to me. Um, at the same time, it's on to the next gig and on to the next. And it's not that it's anything different than what I want my dream to be. This is what I love. I'm singing because I love it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are those hills and valleys, and I think this shows a little bit of the inside emotions that are going on with me. Because sometimes I do feel like I'm waiting on something. I'm yearning for something, and
Mm.
it's not that I don't have it. It's just I'm yearning for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more like, all right, I got to get back home.
Yeah.
So
Just before we get to Natural Dog, it was amazing getting to see your lovely kids, and
yeah,
finally
thank you,
meeting your
thank you,
beautiful wife when you guys
thank
came
you.
down to London. I
Absolutely,
had a
man.
blast just talking with them and stuff.
Cheers.
Um,
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Number
Yeah.
7, Natural Drug.
Mhm.
That's in my top 5.
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
the song. I just love the vibe of the track.
Thank you so much.
What was how, I mean, that's an amazing track. I mean, I was like, wow, you really put
Thank
a
you.
lot into this album. But what do you say about Natural Dark?
Well, natural drug is really, I mean, me, finding ways to just reinvent, the compliment. It's an endless compliment for me, as far as songwriting and, my wife being the muse, of course, I mean, but at the same time, I want to give ladies their flowers in general and let them know what kind of, drug they are.
Mm,
They're a natural drug. Before we get into all these extra, artificial elements of life, we got to go back and give the foundation, the mother of it all, her props. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
queen of the universe, right here. You know, and so really, it's more like I love to find new ways to compliment someone.
Oh,
And natural drug is just another metaphoric sort of way of giving a very, serious compliment to the one I love, letting her know, you're the reason why I always got to study the pathway to get to your heart, and what you're
wow.
feeling, what you're really about right now, even though I know you and I've been there before, and it just seems so familiar of a route. I always got to hunt for it. I always got to find it because that's how deep you hide. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
I think ladies are like that inside, where it's like, man, if you're not really paying attention, you may miss the most important
Mm,
parts of what they're really feeling. Unless you hunt for it, you're willing to go through that maze, that sort of that labyrinth of of them trying to act like it's all good. You know what I mean? No, no, no. There's
wow.
there's something going on. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's all that sort of metaphoric wordplay in there that I feel like it really gets to a deeper, there's a deeper layer to it when it comes
Mm,
down to the why I write certain things or
yeah.
what would make me say something like that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize it was that deep, but man, that's probably explains why, as I said, it really, really kept listening to it, and listening to it. Okay.
yeah, I
Uh,
mean, there's always the physical attributes of a woman, as far as what they do to us, as how intoxicating is a woman, she's a natural drug, so there's really no other way to explain it. As far as those, that's basically me
yeah.
letting you know the literal translation of those lyrics,
Yeah,
but
no,
from my
it's no
from my perspective, at least,
beautiful. So, okay, track number 8, Pick Me Up. And I know you've done the visual for that. I listened
yeah,
to it and I said, you know what? This is the kind of song, probably of all your songs, that I would love to go to the jazz cafe or city winery
yeah,
and listen to it live. This is a
that's
song that I
right.
just felt like I needed to listen
That's
to this
right.
live.
See, thank you because you know yourself. You've witnessed for yourself the energy and the vibration that I'm about. I want to say, rest in peace to the absolute legend, the God man. His name is Roy Ayers, one of
Oh
my
yeah,
great
yeah, yeah,
heroes in music. He recently transitioned,
yeah.
man, and we just want to celebrate his life and his legacy and everything that he was to me as a teacher. For the way that he thought about music. He was like another Stevie Wonder. He was another uh, absolute brilliant mind with jazz and with funk and
Yeah,
with
that's what I
rhythm
put
and
that
with
funk and
just
jazz.
all styles of music. Yeah, funk and jazz really, but the vibrations, the vibes, literally the vibraphone that he
Mm.
played, um, it's it influenced me so much growing up. And so what you hear on this song "Pick Me Up" is a Roy Ayers
Ah.
influence there. You do hear some Stevie Wonder in there too. Got to give Stevie his flowers because melodically, the only reason why I even know to do things like that and that sort of tonality, when I need some love,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I can
girl,
hear Stevie.
that's
Yeah,
that's very, very, it's very
yeah, yeah,
smile. It's like you got to smile when you sing that song.
yeah, 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 yeah. I can hear Stevie. Yeah, okay.
And but and so I want to always show you the DNA behind the record, as far as
Mm.
what it's built off of and why do I do things. I also have to give D'Angelo his flowers as
I was
well
gonna say
because
brown sugar, kind of the little.
Brown Sugar, the energy of the drums for
Yeah,
me
yeah,
is
yeah,
what
yeah. I was.
growing up off of Tribe Called Quest and Gangstar, Premier
Mm.
as a producer, Ali Shaheed and Q-Tip as producers, they just had me very jazzed out with my drums always, and I always
Ah,
paid a lot of attention to what was going on um, with that sort of style. And I think I showed that really on the early albums. So with this, it was kind of a throwback to that energy, and getting
ah.
back into that smoky kind of groove, the
Mm.
head nod, kind of like a little bit
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
slower mid-tempo energy. But like you said, jazz club.
Yeah,
It's good for the jazz club.
I listened to it and I thought, you
Yeah.
know what? If Jon B was singing it and he had the Roots performing,
Yeah.
and this would just be like everyone would just say, yeah, this is the kind of vibes. That's why, and I put it's funky and it's jazzy and it's the kind of stuff you want to listen to live and stuff. So that's
Well,
oh
yeah, there's a
yeah.
little blues. There's a blues energy in about that song where it's like it's not. I kind of let that song be have a lot of imperfections and sort of a lo-fi sound as well. I wanted to mix it with all these old-fashioned sort of
Mm,
reverbs and things that sounded old school. So
okay.
give it like a Motown-esque kind of energy. I don't know if people caught that, but yeah, that's what I'm going for that.
Yeah.
It's almost like if I could work with Mark Ronson and D'Angelo at the same time,
Okay.
what would that sound like? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, sometimes you just got to do it on your own. But
No,
that's what's up.
it came out beautiful, and as I said, I can't wait to listen to see you perform that live. Because I think with a band,
Thank
I
you.
think it would just be awesome.
No, it's been going hard lately. We've been playing it live, and it's been going really, really nicely. So
I can imagine.
can't wait to
Okay.
do that one for you.
Bandit in the Night. It was
Yeah.
another one that just almost made it into my top five. Another beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful track. What I mean,
Thank
even
you.
the title "Bandit in the Night" is kind of like, that's an old school
Yeah.
burglar title. So how did you come up with that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like on some like steal your heart, steal
Oh,
some time, steal away, steal the moment. And the play on that, the play on the word of stealing time, stealing away.
wow.
Uh, I love that because if I have to snatch your heart up like a bandit in the night, and I'm taking everything, strip search your mind. I want it all, like everything.
Wow.
Don't hide nothing from me. It's literally like it's that scene from Billie Jean when Mike snuck into the room and he's looking through the bed at the girl on the bed. You know what I mean? He's just
Mhm.
kind of walking around the bed, like just having imagining, being with her, but he's not touching her. And she's kind of dreaming of him. That's what the video is.
Wow. Wow.
No, no,
Goodness. Okay,
I'm
okay,
just
okay,
bugging
okay.
out. I'm
Okay.
bugging out. But I grew up off stuff like that. You know what I mean? I grew up off of very dreamy videos that sort of set me in that headspace of even being able to think that way, as a songwriter. So yeah, I always try to think. I mean, I said before, I'm always trying to come up with new ways to compliment you, but I think in this way, it's more of like a play on words of like how can I be clever about this and sort of like recreate what it is to have to steal time and have to make time to see each other, and how time is such a suffering commodity that all of us are searching for, and all we want is time
Mm,
together, you know what I mean, to be able to get away. And sometimes you really have to make that effort. And so I want this song to be maybe the type of song people would play during that time, of
yeah.
of getting that quality time.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing how much you really, we can listen to a song but not realize the poetic lyrics that you put into your songs.
Thank you.
Understand is um is my favorite song on the album.
Oh wow.
I'm
That's
surprised
amazing.
myself. I went through it and it just Ed's chosen. And there's something about how you and Donell just go back and forth. Um,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I,
That's my
I,
brother right there, man.
but there was just something. I was
Yeah.
just like, wow, this is just a real. If this came out during the times when you were, say, on Sony, they would just market it on all the radios and it would just blow up. And I think
Oh
that's the
yeah, it would
difference.
have been. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
This is independent now, so it's a little different in terms of the way we market it. But we did do a video for it. He was
yeah, yeah.
so gracious enough to fly out to LA and do the video with me. We had the Aventador in the video. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just we brought out some toys for that. But I mean, it was such a pleasure to do the song with him. We met in 2018. Well, we've met many times before that, but the initial way we did the song and collaborated on this was in 2018. We did the Soul Train Awards, and
Yeah.
both of us were backstage. and we were talking to one another, kind of just getting each other in the right headspace to go and perform, because I think it was both of ours like first time being on an award show in a really long time. So we
Okay.
were kind of like, just feeling the energy. I don't want to say nervous, just anticipating being up there, right?
Yeah.
So, you're kind of like giving each other just, encouragement backstage, and you get a vibration for somebody right away doing what we do. As long as we've been doing this, I mean, we really do appreciate. I sincerely appreciate when someone's being sincere, and Donnell's one of those guys, and I was able to say, hey man, we got this, go kill it right now, man, have fun with it, and sure enough, we both got up there, and that was, I think, like, honestly, that was probably the best, performance I've ever had taped on TV before. Like,
Wow.
it was a real special moment for me. So after we got finished, I told him, man, I said, I have this song for you. I gotta send it to you because I want to collaborate on this thing. And he's like, man, let's send it to me, and I sent it to him, and literally he got back at me and he's like, I love it. I love it. I'm gonna do it just like you wrote it. It's fire. This is gonna be a dope record. I see the vision, the whole thing, man. He recorded his part, sent it back to me, and I'm just like, it's nothing. I mean, he's a professional. He's Donell Jones. What else is there to say? I mean, he just, he blessed the record and took it to another level for me. We both been through ups and downs. I mean, as men, we're all going to go through ups and downs. So to be able to kind of like get together on something and be able to say, it's all right if you think you've seen the best that I have,
Mm.
because I know I'm gonna give all I have to show you. You ain't even seen nothing yet. I got more to show. And sometimes as men, we got to encourage each other. We got to
Mm.
encourage our loved ones and just let them know, like, I know you think you got me, sewed up, but no, no, no. I'm gonna surprise you. You have no idea what's coming. That type of energy. I'm gonna make you understand. That's
Yeah.
that's what that song says.
Ah.
It's just a way to comfort. You know, in this day and age, when I
Yeah.
think that women really think they got us sewed up. They really do. So we always gotta like, keep them surprised, keep them guessing.
Yeah, as I said, it's. I went for everything, and I thought, man, that I just loved the energy, I loved the back and forth between the
Thank you.
two of you, and so this is why
Yeah.
I put it at number one, and yes, and then we
Wow.
finished with
That's
Drift.
dope.
Yeah, I think it's there's certain songs that just seem to connect, and I said, Understand is number one. Throat Chosen's number two, Hills and To the Hood is number three, um, Pick Me
Mm.
Up was number four, and Show Me to my top five. But I still had Natural Drug,
Okay.
Bandits in the Night, Waiting on You, and Pick Me Up. Sorry, what have I just done? I just had those,
And
still had
drifting and
those,
drifting.
and Drifted. But
Yeah.
let's talk about
Okay.
Drifted, the
Mhm.
closing, the song that closed the album.
Yeah. Well, I recorded this song in Tough Gong Studios in Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh,
And
okay, Bob Marley's studio.
yes, Bob Marley Studios. So what an honor it was to record there, first of all. And to have the instruments and the mixing board and the microphone and the piano and just all of the elements that really made that song sound the way that it did. I mean, I played live drums on there once again, which is so fun. Live piano, everything was live. There was nothing programmed on that song at all.
Wow.
So even the bass is played on a Moog, and Moog synthesizer, and um, I mean, it's all just one take kind of energy where we didn't really punch in. We didn't do any really. It was more like a feeling from just, okay, yeah, four counts. One, two, three, four, go. And that's what you get on drifting. And so it's nice to do that and to have those moments happen. It's a very serene song, very, not at all trying to be commercial in any way, or so stripped down almost to the 70s, real, just very, very minimal in a sense. But beautiful nevertheless, because there's strings on that as well that I played. There's some horn that my boy Adrian played on there. Yeah, I really tried to take it back on that one a little bit vintage. I felt the energy of Kingston being there. That we were there for a good 2 weeks, um, and locked up in that in the tough gong, and just
Yeah.
feeling the vibrations. You could definitely feel the spirit of Bob in there. Stephanie Marley pulled up on us while we were
Wow.
there, said hello. We were able to just really take in the city's energy, just
Mm.
being around, going to the marketplaces, I actually got the chance to go to Trenchtown, which is an incredible honor for me, being a huge Bob Marley fan, and
Mm.
go to his house. I was able to go to the
Wow.
museum actually. The studio that is that we worked at is on it's a different studio than the studio they
Oh,
have
the
on
original one.
display for them. This is an actual recording studio that's still functioning as a recording studio, and people book it all the time. But yeah, it was a real honor to record this song there and write the song. And it was actually a freestyle. I just grabbed the microphone and I just kind of just sang the song what was in my head. And I
Wow.
could just imagine drifting down the streams out there, on like a bamboo raft, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
just that's the visual behind that song, and waiting to fall into a different pool or something like that, with the one that you love, So that's the visual that I had in that on that song. And what a great way to leave you off on that little dreamy record like that. So a great way to end track 11.
Yeah, but why? And I guess as a creator, what's the difference between recording that song back in your home studio as opposed to going to Jamaica and doing it? What's for us who don't know?
But you don't really plan things like that. Say like, oh, I'm gonna record this song in Jamaica and it's gonna sound like this, and it's not. You go somewhere like that so that you can evoke a song like that to come to you. It's like
Oh,
that song is the sum of all those experiences, all inspiring me to make that drum beat, to play the drums like that, to form those chords on the keyboard and play the piano that way with that sensitivity. And so it's you'd like to think that everything could just be the same anywhere that you do it, but no,
yeah.
it is very much about cooking a meal in a different kitchen than you're used to,
Ah,
with a different apparatus, with different utensils, with
yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
ingredients, and making something taste really good,
Ah.
metaphorically speaking.
You
Yeah.
know what? We just lost Dwayne Wiggins from t the Tonys, and on
Oh yeah,
their
rest in peace. Yes,
yes, on their sons.
that's my my dear friend right there.
Oh, you knew that? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Rest in power to my guy, man. He's such a huge influence on me. We worked together before, and many shows together.
Mm,
I'm friends with the brothers, with all the Tony guys, man.
yeah.
Tim and Raphael, and so it's definitely a loss for us all. But at the same time, I don't believe in the whole death thing. I mean, I got my all. He's just another guardian angel I have with Tupac and all of my other greats that I know.
Yeah.
I've been able to be blessed to know here in the physical. But at the same time, we take them with us
Yeah.
in the spiritual, and you know, he's a part of my DNA as a writer. I wouldn't be able to write songs like I do, What You Say Boo, if it wasn't for the Tony, and
Yeah.
Dwayne Wiggins. Writing songs like Whatever You Want and
Mm,
Anniversary, and I mean,
yeah.
Just Me and You. So many songs that he was involved with too, that are just he doesn't even realize. So I was so nice to be able to give him his flowers when we were backstage at the show when I was opening up for Tony not too long
Wow.
ago. And yeah, I was just telling him that, do you hear the influence at least? And he's like, yeah, man, I do, bro. So,
Well,
get to shake a hand, you know what I mean?
I was just about to say because when you Songs of Soul, they had the song "Slow Wine," and
Oh yeah, yeah,
he
slow
starts
wine.
off by saying, we were in Trinidad, and then we were just trying to record, and then we came up with this song. And
Yeah,
so I'm listening to a thing, it's just ad-libbing, but it was just what you said about they just went
yeah,
to Trinidad and they just got the vibe and came up with slow wine.
yeah,
And so that I was just wondering what
man,
that confirming what you were saying about being in a different environment, and then all of a sudden you come up with a song.
yeah, yeah. I don't, it's like when you hear the beginning of the song "Drifting," where I'm like,
Mm.
that I mean that just that melody. I don't even know where that came from. That's from the heavens right there. They know that right there was inspired by being in a blissful state, and an Irie state, and in it being taken care of by the Rastas that literally took care of Bob Marley, and being, amplified through the setup that made the song "Could You Be Loved" and songs like that. I
Yeah,
mean, the
yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
studio that those songs were recorded at. So we really, I think that I'll never forget that for an experience in itself. But then we have also the song to remember it for always. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, we've gone through the 11 songs, and what I loved about the album is that you didn't make album fillers. You didn't make it like 20 songs and just put some interludes.
yeah,
You
yeah,
just said, let's just do a classic like a Make It Last Forever, a Thriller, or Control album where we
Mhm.
just have our 8, 10, 11
Thank you.
tracks and put it out there.
Right. Getting back to the old school albums, to
Yes.
the old school sense of an album, where
Yeah, really
yeah,
making
yeah,
sure that
a little more
it's really
precise
tight.
this time.
Yeah. It's you guys
Yeah,
put a lot of love, a lot of energy into creating it. I did see you
yeah,
on, Billboard magazine and all the publications doing a lot of the radio shows.
yeah,
How hard is it now
yeah.
to now try and get people to listen to it, that element of it? What's the challenge now for you?
It's just get out there and work, really. It's what the last 10 years has been a cultivation process of getting, really, really having the seeds that have been out there, watching the flowers, bloom, and going out and making sure that you water your plant, your flowers that you've had, you know, sort of being growing out there for so long now. It's been 30 years in the game, and to touch all these different places, around the globe has just been such an absolute blessing for me, and opportunity to really say, hey, I'm still making music, y'all. So it's just whether it's the Tamron Hall show or uh, you know, any publication, radio stations, like you said, Billboard magazine, LA Weekly this last week. I mean we've been doing parties around town, record release parties in various states and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll be doing something out that way very soon as well. So yeah, I mean it's been a movement for us, and it's going to continue to be. We've got the tour coming up in spring,
Okay.
and yeah, so good things on the way.
So, John, I want to thank you that, for making time this evening to go through the album song by song, because I think it gives the
Thank
album a
you.
very different people to appreciate it very differently, understanding the chemistry behind each of the tracks. You guys must be
Thank you.
really
Yeah,
should be really proud of this album. I think I think it's hard for me to
we
rank
are.
this in when I look at your entire catalog, because each album was special in the time it came out. So Bonafide or
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
So
you.
it's
Yeah,
hard
it's
to just
it's
say like this
it's
is
a
one of your
hard
top
thing to
five.
do.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's like this. I don't make albums with the intention of comparing them to my last things. Personally, I don't do that. I feel like every stepping stone in my life has been a stepping stone. I've learned every album, there's been a different version of me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
never been the same guy.
Yeah.
From 18 making Bonafide to 23 making Crew Relax to being like 28 making Pleasures You Like to being like, and so it's every year has been growth, progression, and a willingness to continue to be an artist, really. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if I was just producing and writing, I'd be content just doing that, not being the focal point. But sort of like trusting myself to say, okay, no, you know what you need to do. So to be your own tool, don't use someone else as the tool. Like you got the voice. That's the best like advice Babyface ever gave me was you should be your own. I know you want to produce other people, but you should be your own production. You should be the artist. Because at
Mm.
first I was just had my sights on writing and producing for people. Uh, and I'm glad now after 30 years of doing this that I made that decision to be an artist and to continue to have a voice and just believe in these albums. And evidently that's why this is the 10th, because I kept believing. But most
Mm.
importantly, I think the most important element of this album is my wife, my partner, the one who literally is why I'm sitting here breathing on the planet, like as far as just
Wow.
my happiness,
Yeah.
my contentment, just literally, I wish it to every man out there. You need a partner like my partner because she really runs our life. She really takes care of everything. She's the reason why this album's coming out.
Yeah.
She's Vibes Elect Music. And this album's dedicated to her. So yeah,
Well, I've met your
there it
wife,
is.
and we're still in contact, and I know she's an amazing woman, and
Thank you.
and you guys work as an amazing team, as an amazing family, and I'm going to make sure
Thank you
that
so much.
from our point that a lot of people get to see that this is a proper album.
Thank you.
We're really going to invest in this because I think it's hopefully it will inspire others to really think about, well, if Jon is coming up and making new music at this level and this quality, what's stopping us from doing that? You don't need
Let's
to
do it.
keep doing the legacy shows. You can still do that. But if you just did a tour with this album, as I said, you just start playing Pick Me Up, everyone would just vibe. It reminded me of Mint Condition. You listen to them
Hey,
live and you're thinking,
there
I've
you
just
go.
listened
There's
to
a
them on
big
the album.
influence. There's a
Yeah.
big influence for me, heavy. Well, I mean, continue. When what you got to say to those guys that haven't put the album out yet that you're looking for is just come on with it. We want to hear some new music from you, because a lot of times we just need the encouragement as the artist. Once you've done something that's big, you always sort of are in the shadow of that, in a
Yeah,
sense of
yeah.
standing in the shadow of yourself in the past. But we really have to look at the present as being where we're shining currently. This is why we're standing on stage, and sounds coming out of our mouth, and and they're singing it back to us. Evidently, it's because we're still here, man. And I just it's like my song says, don't listen to what people say, man. They still don't know, y'all. And we got to show them, though. We do while we're here have to show them. That's the only thing that I feel like that's what we owe everyone for being down with us all these years is to continue to take our artistry serious. Don't just because the music industry showed you a certain level of frustration, situations.
Yeah.
Don't get jaded in the sense that you don't need to make albums anymore, because I'm telling you right now, unless that's just where you are as an artist, some people just evolve out of wanting to do this. But I'm a crafter of this. I like to make beats. I like to play chords, and I'd be doing it for free if I wasn't making albums. But I feel like, yeah, no, it's just a joy to continue to do, man. So thanks
Well,
to all my folks out there that are continuing to support me, because
yes.
evidently, if I didn't have anybody to do this for, it wouldn't it wouldn't be nobody out there to catch me while I'm out here dreaming and
Yeah.
falling out the clouds.
Check out Jon B's shades in Pick Me Up videos. It's
Oh yeah, we
you,
cover we cover with the
he
shades,
came with the
absolutely.
shades in the video.
All different sizes,
Yeah, yeah,
styles,
yeah.
everything. It's I'm getting my Elton John, my iconic, legendary. I'm trying to pin myself as the shade guy, because honestly, as I grow older now, I didn't wear any today with you. No,
Yeah,
as
no,
you
yeah,
see,
no, yeah. I can
no,
see
that's
it.
I felt like that would have been rude. That's sort of pretentious to wear in an interview, but especially at home in my kitchen here.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You normally wear shades at home in the kitchen.
yeah.
No, but it's been fun to really kind of grow into this where I'm at this stage, where I'm at with my artistry, because I feel very balanced and well, sort of. Um, I feel like I've come into my own this year,
Yeah,
really, with
yeah.
my wife and I really have had so much fun the fashion and with the art design for this album and just all of the aesthetics of what make an album come off like this one's coming off. It's been really, really fun process. We want to thank our designer and co-collaborator with the clothes, Cornelius Mims. He is just amazing, and he's been a seamstress. He's been a tailor. He's been a stylizer. But him and my wife collaborating with myself on all of the clothes you see in the videos, and the sunglasses are all my wife. That's all her. I do have my taste and what I think is dope, but if she doesn't approve it, and be like, okay, I see those.
Well, this is the new album, Jon B's Waiting on You. It is 5-star, 11 amazing tracks, and I like the fact that he didn't overdo it with guest stars. The 4 that are there are just perfect. Donell Jones.
I'm pretty blessed with 4 amazing features on this album to be an independent artist. I want to commend and thank all of the collaborators on my album: Tank, Rick Ross, Alex Eisley, Donell Jones. I mean, it's hard to believe we were able to make all of this happen just being a boutique label that we are. But I mean, I think it goes to show the respect that, I've been given in this game and that I have for this game, and for, not the game, but just this music, this culture, really, the deeper part of it, the sounds you hear coming out the stereo, all these years of loving it like I have. I feel like that love is coming back to me. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Jon, for taking your time. My love to your wife for setting this up in very short notice. So she's just amazing.
No, and always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to speak with you, Nandi.
And I hope we get to see you in when you come back to the UK in this summer.
You will, man. I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up for sure. And this tour is. I want to send a big shout to Shay Universe. She's going to be opening up for my tour.
Wow.
Starting in spring. So we met her actually at a show that both of us did in the UK, and she was just mesmerizing. So watching her do her thing on the side with my wife, I was like, wow. And my wife said, "Oh, she's got to be the opening act, if possible, if she's down." And we invited her in. She said, "I would love to." So we were just so complimented by her presence on this tour, and we look forward to seeing you in somewhere soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But as I said, thank you for taking your time. A beautiful album.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for breaking the album. And yes,
my pleasure.
Yeah. All right, Jon.
Thanks for everything. You too, Mandy.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right, my brother. Take care. Man. Peace, man.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between.
For even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas boys are winning all spirits.
Play it.
These guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different